From Los Angeles to a worldwide audience, this is Boaz Power TV, where we take your life to the next level. Now, internationally known speaker and author, here's Boaz.
Hi, welcome to the Power Show. You are part of the Power Nation, and I'm delighted that you're here. Because here we help you improve your attitude, your relationships, your finances, and your career. This is episode number 72 on Boaz Power TV, and it's called The Bloom Will Never Fade. I first wrote this in April of 2003. His favorite nickname was Dad. Millions of people knew him by other names. The way his three daughters referred to him was special, just Dad. People who achieve great successes in all aspects of their lives usually have one critical attribute in common. They go the extra mile. They go the extra mile. One of the two books I promote in my seminars is Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. If you haven't read this book, you've got to read it. It'll change your life. It's much more than about money. It's an attitude book. And in order to prepare to do seminars all over the world, I read this book as well as the Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, each 60 times, once a month, every month for 5 years. Amazing what happens when you read something over and over and make it a part of you. And so in this book, in Think and Grow Rich, he says, go the extra mile. Go the extra mile, do 110%. Where most people might do 80 or 90, you do 110%, and you'll never have a challenge making money and being happy and being successful. And so people go the extra mile. Whether in their family relationships or in their professional pursuits, they're constantly doing more than is expected of them, and that's what champions are. They do that. So NBC News correspondent David Bloom was such a person who went the extra mile. He was embedded with the U.S. Army's 3rd Infantry Division outside Baghdad, and he died of an apparent pulmonary embolism. You may remember the TV report back in 2003. Amazing. David was a 39-year-old husband and father of 3. And I think his story is so valuable to tell. Anyone watching closely the coverage of the war in Iraq is bound to have noticed a difference in the way David covered the war. Using unique equipment that he helped to configure, he broadcast live reports as the American armored column he was traveling with fought its way north toward the Iraqi desert. Many believe Bloom's type of report was a first in broadcast history, to actually be reporting from a moving vehicle. Amazing, and during a wartime situation. He was a native of Minnesota, attended a college in California. In 1989, he became a reporter from the NBC-owned television station in Miami, Florida, where he covered many major news stories, such as Hurricane Andrew, the Somali famine, and the coup that led to a U.S. intervention in Haiti. It was in 1993 that he joined NBC News as a correspondent based in Chicago. After a stint in Los Angeles for the network, he was named White House correspondent in 1997, and it was in March of 2000 that he was named co-anchor of the weekend edition of the Today program. Now, in recent years, Bloom had covered many top international stories for NBC, most recently in the early 2000s, reporting from Israel on violence in the Middle East, and in the U.S. on home front security and the recovery after 9/11. But in his last assignment, he traveled with the 2nd Battalion, 315th Mechanized Unit of the U.S. Army's 3rd Infantry Division in its caravan toward Baghdad. In a clear indication of his habit of going the extra mile, Bloom and his crew covered the Iraqi war as no other. He coordinated special modifications on an M88 recovery vehicle that allowed him and his crew to file live reports during the division's campaign from Kuwait to Baghdad. Bloom's foresight and ingenuity in helping to modify the armored vehicle that he rode on in the desert led to its being named the Bloommobile. The Bloommobile. Bloom and his cameraman mounted a gyro-stabilized camera, the kind that's mounted on helicopters, to produce jiggle-free video. Video of him reporting, even when the M88 was bumping along at 50 miles an hour or more, were simply amazing. Now, in addition, another step of ingenuity, he arranged for the sharper than video phone signal to be sent via microwave to a converted Ford F-450 crew cab truck which was anywhere from 2 to 10 miles farther back in the column. The signal was then transmitted from an antenna on the truck in real time from its own gyro-stabilized platform to an overhead satellite. And from the satellite, the signal was relayed to NBC. Isn't that amazing? What ingenious thoughts. The length to which David Bloom went to prepare for covering the war in Iraq was amazing. The truck, which was converted by the Maritime Telecommunications Network, had custom-designed Goodyear tires. They were made soft and mushy so they would just ooze through the sand and aid in the smoothness of the video signals. How creative. Now, technology journalists immediately picked up on the significance of Bloom's unique live on-the-move reports. Adding to the technology was David's unique spirit. Howard Kurtz, a media critic for the Washington Post, noted Bloom's coverage for its boyish enthusiasm. Oh, how much further could all of us get if we just showed a little more enthusiasm in life? NBC executives, in watching Bloom's meticulous preparations for the war, marveled as he demonstrated a tireless devotion to his story. Fellow reporters relate that this was David's standard operating procedure. He always went the extra mile. On assignments in China a number of years ago, he stayed up many nights searching for dissidents to interview for his story. David Bloom received many awards during his nearly 20-year career with NBC News. These included a Peabody Award and the RTNDA's Edward R. Murrow Award. Well, David Bloom, as he blazed across the desert in Iraq, also blazed across the minds of millions of people as he displayed the value of going the extra mile, of doing more than is expected. And for doing so, for being called Dad by his 3 young daughters, for showing such a passion for life, the bloom will never fade on the memory of this incredible man. What a story. What a story. So here's the affirmation for this episode of Boaz Power TV. It's going the extra mile affirmation, extra effort. Please write this down. I go the extra mile in all my efforts. I go the extra mile in all my efforts. I do more than is expected of me because I am a champion. I go the extra mile in all my efforts. I do more than is expected of me because I am a champion. Thank you for joining me. If you like these messages, and many people around the world find them to be of great value, please suggest to 5 of your friends to go to my website, boazpower.com. They can subscribe to this free weekly broadcast, and perhaps we can help them to also go the extra mile and achieve a much higher level of success. You are special, you are unique, you are destined for greatness, and by all means, you always go the extra mile. I believe in you. You are a champion. Have a powerful day.
This has been Boaz Power TV. To comment, see other episodes, or to subscribe to this free broadcast, go to our blog at boazpower.com. That's boazpower.com. We're here to take your life to the next level.